These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Elena.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
Unhinged today.
We're on a different level today.
Not even space level.
No, like intergalactic.
Oh, intergalactic.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
I know.
Yeah, we're eating lots of food. We're being lots of crazy.
It's Thursday, but we got Fridays.
Hey!
Oh, look at that. Have you guys had from Fridays? It's like the crispy rice, and they put a little avocado on the top, and then a tiny little jalapeno.
It's really good.
It is stupid good.
It is. It's real good.
I love sticky
Put
rice.
a little soy sauce on there.
A little soy sauce. I prefer coconut aminos, but soy sauce will do.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Look at this health and wellness journey.
I know, it's Bragg's even, so just look at that brag.
Just give me soy sauce on everything.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just
Appreciate
gave her the soy sauce. I didn't. It was imaginary. I also have some ginger sitting next to me. I have some ginger on either side of me.
Look at that.
But tusk.
Wow.
We got tattoos yesterday, so I don't know why that made us loopy, but it did.
It did.
Shout out to Matt and Ryan on the Black Ball.
Matt and Ryan.
The Black Ball. Shop of dread and wonder.
And you know what? It's okay that we're being so kooky because we're going to talk about vampires today. So
Vampires or lack thereof.
or lack thereof, which is even better.
But two kooky, crazy people.
Ooh, I looked them up just to see what they look like. I didn't want to know. I know nothing about this story.
I know nothing.
But I know what they look like, and it made me even more excited to listen to this story.
Yeah, they out in the streets cosplaying.
Yeah.
So, let me just tell you, we're talking about that. I'm like, go into
We're going.
it. And we're going to be talking about the Highgate Vampire story.
Story.
It's a good one.
You know that story?
Story. So it starts on November 1st, 1968, when several London news outlets were reporting on an incident of pretty substantial vandalism at the Tottenham Park Cemetery. And it included, among other things, graves being dug up.
Being digged up.
Being digged on up. That's like not good.
That's really, a lot of people would say that's bad.
Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Why? Like, you want to vandalize things? That's
not cool.
I'm not sure about that, but
don't vandalize people's graves.
what the fuck?
Like, just let them rest.
They also had pried open coffins, and there was just like destroyed crosses everywhere.
What the fuck?
It was wild. And the cemetery superintendent, Reverend Lionel Phillips, he told reporters that he had never seen anything like it. He said, "It isn't just ordinary vandalism. Everything has been carefully done and arranged according to some evil rite. There's more to this than meets the eye."
And then the credits roll and the beginning of the movie happens.
No, this is for realsies. So according to Reverend Phillips, when he arrived at the cemetery that morning, he was shocked to find the grounds, quote, strewn with dead flowers, inverted crosses, and broken urns, which had literally been robbed from the graves.
That's not cool.
And he told reporters everything had been arranged in a pattern that pointed to 3 recently buried grave sites, all of which had been dug out, coffins and all. Now, Phillips himself had initially been alerted to the vandalism by the caretaker of the cemetery, William Dakin, I believe is how you say it. And William Dakin told the press, "There's definitely something strange going on here. The graveyard is supposed to be haunted, but this has been done by humans, and it looks like black magic or something. I've never seen anything quite like it, although coffins and graves have been disturbed here before."
I always love when people go straight to this must be real black magic and like real satanic shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know that lots of people know how to make something look like that so that your thought process immediately goes to that and it makes you not look at the actual thing that's happening.
Precisely.
And it's like, it's weird to me that more people, especially like around this, decades earlier than now.
Right.
Their immediate thought was to go to the very obvious instead of being like red herring, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, we'll kind of talk about why they went there
Yeah.
and like the current social climate at that time and kind of why their heads were going to black magic and Satan worship.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the next day, Dakin, he was less tentative about his theories about who was responsible for the vandalism. Before, he was like, could be black magic.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But things have happened before.
Also, every time I say that, I just think, black magic.
Yep.
You know,
it's true. It's a good song.
But he told the Guardian Journal, "This isn't just ordinary vandalism. Everything has been done carefully for some evil rite. I believe some kind of black magic ceremony has been performed here. It was Halloween last night."
Bum, bum, bum.
Ah! You didn't expect that, did you?
I didn't, but I welcome it with open arms again.
It's called dramatic effect. Look it up.
It was lovely.
So the official story from the police was that the vandals were most likely just youths celebrating Halloween.
That's kind of what I thought.
Most people would. But the incident did raise some concerns about whether there were devil worshippers lying among the ordinary Londoners.
Well, here's the thing. If it was just like a bunch of shit in there, like people, they turned over some crosses and stuff and like threw some, even that would be, I'd be like, wow, that's some like fucked up youth shit. Like we didn't do that.
But the grave robbing?
That's the thing. I'd be like, and I'd even be a little like, oh, that's a lot for kids. Like, why are they going in a cemetery? But they've done that before. Kids do stupid shit.
Of course.
But you're saying when you're opening up coffins, that's when things do take, and I didn't take that into consideration before.
Right.
That does take it into a different place.
Entirely.
Like, we're not just setting up some flowers in a weird way in a cemetery and turning some crosses over. You're like really, I don't know where you're going, but you're not going anywhere good when you're opening people's coffins up.
Not on a good path.
No.
Like two roads diverged in a yellow wood and you chose the wrong ass one.
Yeah, and you just like dug straight into the earth's crust.
Yeah, don't go there.
So I can understand why they were a little more like, what the fuck's happening here? I get it.
That's the thing. And here's the other thing. Given the evidence, it kind of seems like an irrational jump to make, going from like rambunctious asshole youths to full-blown devil worshippers.
For sure.
But at the time, modern day British people really weren't that far removed from like witchy satanic hysteria and just like panic in general.
Yeah.
Because in the late 19th and early 20th century, similar concerns were actually raised publicly about this influential cult society called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Damn, that sounds awesome, but I bet it's not at all.
No, it actually is.
Oh, cool.
Sounds pretty awesome to me. They literally had no association whatsoever with devil worshipping or any kind of malevolent deity at all. They just practiced like mystical traditions and magic as a spiritual practice. Yeah. And everyone was really freaking out about it. Because they were like, the devil.
So satanic panic is happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing was that the press and the public weren't familiar with the order's beliefs, so they just immediately labeled them dangerous people.
That's awesome.
But they were basically just kind of like witches and warlocks, if you ask my ass.
You should do that. When you don't understand something, immediately label it as dangerous. I think that's a great way to go about your life.
There's a certain
and if you can't
group
tell,
of-
that was like the biggest heaping helping of sarcasm, just in case anybody took that for a serious thing.
But some people might have, because there is a group of people in particular that really love to do that.
Exactly.
You know?
So you want to make sure.
Exactly. Now, while most of the Golden Dawn members spent a ton of their time trying to combat the image of an evil secret society that had been placed upon them, one early member, you might know him, one Aleister Crowley.
Never heard of that guy.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
You have. He, like other people were like, okay, let's try to like show the public and these people in society that we're actually not what they think we are.
Yeah.
Aleister was like, let's lean right the fuck into it.
Hell yeah.
And he embraced the whole thing and embraced the notoriety by, quote, implying that he was genuinely involved with devil worship.
He's just like, sure.
And then there were other parts of his personal life, like his being bisexual, his drug use, and his social opinions that made him even more threatening to a very buttoned-up British society.
Yeah.
Now, he had actually broke away from the Golden Dawn around 1900, and he traveled the world for a few years, which is pretty cool. And after that, he actually formed his own esoteric society called Thelema.
Ah.
Now, his celebrity and the occult beliefs of Thelema were so influential in a ton of social circles throughout the first half of the 20th century, so much so that L. Ron Hubbard, future founder of Scientology,
Oh, fuck.
and then a whole-ass rocket engineer named Jack Parsons, they established a branch of Thelema in LA during the late 40s and early 50s. And people seem to be really inspired by the practices. So actually, a lot of new religious movements that emerged in the 60s were actually influenced directly by Thelema.
Damn.
And, of course, most Christians and Catholics looked at those unfamiliar spiritual practices as dangerous and evil.
That's why, to me, and this is just my opinion, like gathering like that into one society of something or other,
Yeah.
I don't feel like it ever ends up as a great thing in the end. I don't know. I
share
don't think
that
we're
belief.
supposed to.
No, I think that's why I just, like, practice my own shit.
Yeah, I'm like, just, have your little
Solo
group
witch.
if you want. But I think when it gets too big, that's when things go awry.
Yeah. Now, those are all just like examples of reasons why the British society was a little freaked out by all these things going on
It was a little
now.
like quick on the draw here
Exactly.
to be like, this is definitely Satan. This is
Devil.
definitely an ancient black magic rite ritual that has been happening in this graveyard. Like they're conditioned at this point. So.
Exactly. And they were like, they're probably sacrificing things to some malevolent deity. I'd just like to go ahead and say that if there's no band called Malevolent Deity,
That is pretty great.
band name I call it.
Yeah. Hello, Cleveland. We are Malevolent Deity.
Woo! You
I
can make
like that.
awesome shirts.
Yeah.
I'm not musically inclined, so you can have it. Like you, listener.
You.
Not to say
You
that you're not
listening.
musically
Yeah.
inclined.
You listening, listener, you can have it.
Take it.
It's yours.
But listen, even though the Golden Dawn, Aleister Crowley, and Thelema were all active about like 5 decades earlier, like I was just saying, all of their influences would feed the fears of Satanism and witchcraft in 1970s London. So that's how we got here.
Fun.
And then those fears were also fed by the release of Rosemary's Baby. The movie was released in June of 1968, and it was based on Ira Levin's novel from the year before. And in case I'm not the only person that's never seen it, I've never seen it, have you?
I have.
I feel like I'm going to get attacked in the comments.
You should see it.
But I don't look at them,
I'll
so
have you read it. I know. I was like, you won't know.
I won't know. But in case I'm not the only person who's never seen it, Rosemary's Baby basically tells the story of a young woman named Rosemary Woodhouse, which is a beautiful name, who becomes the target of a group of Satan worshipping witches that want to snatch her baby.
Uh-oh.
So in the context of satanic panic and mass hysteria, the influence of Rosemary's Baby can't really be understated. Like, you gotta mention it.
Of course.
And then, of course, the movie reignited Hollywood's interest in horror films and at the same time presented the public with an idea of witchcraft that was modern, insidious, and well-connected. So they were like, witches walk among us because I saw it. Isn't Mia Farrow in that movie?
Yeah.
I saw it. Mia Farrow experienced it. What's
her hair
going
is
on?
great in that movie. She's got a really cool, like, pixie cut.
See, I know that because Tyra wanted to give that pixie cut to everybody, and she always was like Rosemary's Baby.
Well, and she wanted to give that pixie cut to that one girl who wouldn't cut it a half inch more to be that way and got kicked off. And I was like, you would look great with that haircut if it was real.
I know. Honestly, there was probably many other reasons why she wanted to get the fuck out of there.
You don't
but
say.
That's for another day.
That's for another day.
But in all reality, William Dakin and Reverend Phillips had no idea what a black magic ceremony entailed or what kind of mess or destruction it would leave behind. They were just like, devil worshippers!
Buzzwords.
Yes, exactly. But still, they were both almost entirely convinced that the vandalism at Tottenham Park Cemetery was the work of Satan-worshipping witches who were conducting some sort of black mass.
And then witches came into the picture and said, so what?
They said, I don't give a fuck. Now, their opinion on the matter wasn't the result of any kind of experience that they'd ever had.
No.
They were just relying on the countless examples of modern-day witches.
Yeah.
From Golden Dawn to Aleister Crowley, and then the new religious movements and Rosemary's Baby, that they really thought this was a real threat to society.
I think that's a great way to go about life, is to have no actual evidence, nothing to go off of, no previous experience with something. And then just listen to something somebody might have said once and look at a Hollywood movie. And say, yeah, I got it. I know a lot about this now. I think that's an awesome way to go about things.
Me too.
Yeah. What?
Heavy dose of sarcasm.
Enter sarcasm here.
But while the hysteria and the occult groups and evil rites in London were rooted more in rumor and social anxiety than reality, it is worth noting that there were groups like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn that existed to pursue an interest in the occult. Now, unlike the Golden Dawn, these groups didn't have any kind of formality or structure. It was more just groups of young people who were kind of pursuing a shared interest in the devil. No, I'm just kidding.
I like
You're
it.
like, I love that.
No, it's just like, you can, like, those, that's where I feel like it's like really hard to have any kind of gathering of people that have a shared interest in that way. Because even the ones that you're like, that's nice. Like, you're just gathering together. You have this interest in, like, magic as a spiritual practice. And, like, you probably love nature and all that shit.
Yeah.
And you found a bunch of people that also feel that way. And you feel, like, connected and, like, you're belonging to that. And, like, if that's something you need, then that's nice to have. But even that will get turned.
That's the thing.
You just can't have a group of people that just want to do some stuff. Because it always turns dark.
It always turns dark, even if they have, like, good intentions. And then sometimes I feel like a lot of times it seems like there's, like, one or two people within that group that just loses themselves a little bit in it. Man. Yeah.
People are tough. We're a tough species.
Yeah, we're like the worst species.
We really shouldn't gather that much. It's not, it's really not a great idea.
Just stay at home and DoorDash.
Just kind of free float.
Yeah, with DoorDash.
Just be like those little pieces of dust in the air when you see a sunbeam go down and you see all the dust floating in the air. Yeah. We should all just be like that.
I always wonder if it's actually dust or if it's like something else.
Like what?
Magic.
I like that better than dust, for sure. It's better for my allergies.
My old stepdad would say that, like, we're somebody else's ants.
Damn.
So, like, what if we're somebody else's dust?
Cool.
Wild.
That's pretty
Food
awesome.
for thought.
Nothing matters then.
Nothing matters anyway. Have you ever seen, like, the thing of, like pictures of, like, the whole ass universe? And it's like, you are here crying in the shower. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Okay. In fact, like, it doesn't actually matter. I'm like, it does.
One day in the morgue when it was a particularly slow day and nothing was happening and we were just sitting in the office for hours on end, somebody who was training me and I'm not going to like blow him up, but he was great.
Oh, okay.
But we were, I just don't know if he wants to be named on the podcast.
Yeah, fair.
But we were he had found like some video that showed like in scale all the different planets and like the galaxies and all that and like where we are. And we just sat there and kept replaying it and being like, why are we even in this office? Like, what are we even doing? Like, what's happening? By the end of it, we were having such like an existential crisis. Yes. Like we both left like feeling some type of way.
Because you're like, what matters?
I was like, and we're in the morgue. So there's like death around us, which added an element of like, what's going on? Like we're just surrounded by death, but look at how tiny we are and how nothing matters. It was like so weird.
Yeah, that's wild.
I left there and just needed to be like reprogrammed.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you just like wake up the next day?
I don't know. I think we were both fine the next day.
Good for you guys. But so yeah, going back to the story and like these groups of people that gathered together. In the late 60s, one of these groups that emerged from London's suburban Highgate neighborhood, they called themselves the British Occult Society.
Sign me up.
I know, right? They were led by David Farrant and Farrant and Manchester, two occult enthusiasts who were in their early 20s at the time. Now, the group was said to, quote, have grown out of a circle of friends who had been in the habit of visiting Highgate Cemetery late at night in the 1960s. And according to David Farrant's wife, all the members shared an interest in the supernatural, but mostly participated, quote, for a laugh and a joke. We would wander about, frighten ourselves to death, and come out again. Sounds like fun to me.
And David Farrant's the guy who looks really cool.
He does look really cool.
He just like all the pictures, you're like, damn.
He's a character.
I know nothing about him, so I'm just saying totally based off aesthetics. So I was like, you look cool.
He does look cool. And cool. I think he was cool for like a minute.
And then it turned.
Like he had his moment, and then it went a little too far.
Cool.
And we'll get there. But by the late 60s, Highgate Cemetery, the one where everything had gone down, it had seen better days. It had been filled to capacity, actually, decades earlier. But for some reason, they still tried to squeeze in new plots.
Eek.
So things were overcrowded, unsustainable, and sadly, the grounds were really poorly made. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Contained. And then the situation was even further exacerbated by the bombings that were sustained during World War I and World War II, and that left many of the stones and crypts just in crumbling disrepair.
Oh.
So this was all made even worse by mid-century neglect and overgrowth. Like nobody was taking care of this place, so everything was overgrowing to the point where you couldn't even walk a path.
Oh, and that's so sad.
I know, because it's people's final resting place.
Yeah.
I think cemeteries personally are beautiful.
I love cemeteries.
And they should be maintained.
There's a whole foundation. I think it's called Save Our Cemeteries. I will look it up just so we can link them, because they take donations to help revitalize like forgotten about cemeteries so that people can have, like they've done a lot for like New Orleans cemeteries and stuff. So we'll link it because it is an important organization, I think.
Yeah, and definitely like super pertinent to this story.
Yeah,
good call.
Because they do a lot of good work.
Hell yeah.
Well, so listen, by the time the British Occult Society started visiting the cemetery in the late 1960s, it was in peak shambles. Richard Altec wrote, "To reach one grave requires from the path through the brambles and burrs and hip-high undergrowth and clinging vines that constantly trip up the explorer fresh from the London pavements."
Damn.
So basically he was like, you're going to be wading through overgrown shit, like clinging to brambles, probably getting cut by thorns. Like, it was gnarly. So when Farrant and the group started visiting Highgate, their trips did involve some light vandalism, which that's the thing where I'm like,
that's the bummer.
Don't do that. Now, what they did, I guess, wasn't really noticeable underneath the overgrowth and the ruin of the cemetery. But during later visits in 1969, David Farrant did notice obvious signs of vandalism that had not been done by the group, but by other nighttime visitors. He was like, we didn't do that. He would later tell reporters vaults had been broken open and coffins literally smashed apart.
Oh, that's awful.
One vault near the top gate was wide open, and one could see the remains of a skeleton where it had been wrenched from a coffin. Another vault on the main pathway had been thus entered, and one of the coffins inside set alight.
That's fucked
Like,
up.
literally meaning somebody had lit a coffin on fire.
You gotta be a special brand of fucked up.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, around this same time that David Farrant is like telling people that this is going on, the police in Highgate had actually started to receive reports of small groups of teenagers vandalizing local cemeteries. So the police figured that the recent disturbances at Highgate Cemetery were made by those same assholes. But some people were not so sure that they were just dealing with teenagers. And some people thought everything going on at Highgate was because of something supernatural at work.
Oh.
Now, by December 1969, Farrant's group had received 2 reports from locals claiming that they'd been walking in Highgate Cemetery when they encountered a tall, dark specter, this is a quote, that temporarily hypnotized or paralyzed the bystander.
Whoa.
So Farrant, for obvious reasons, was very intrigued by this report because he's an occult enthusiast.
Yeah.
So he decided to see what he could see for himself, and he made plans to stay in the cemetery overnight on December 21st.
Oh, shit.
So when he reached the gate and he was just about to climb over, he said he was stunned by what he thought to be a tall person walking through the cemetery grounds. Now, he stared through the bars trying to get a closer look, and he said he, quote, realized the shape was over 7 feet tall, and saw, quote, 2 eyes meeting mine which were not human, rather reflecting some alive presence.
Ooh.
So in that moment, he was scared shitless, and he figured he was in some kind of danger. So he was able to tear his gaze away from this specter, and he said at that point, the figure just vanished.
I love it.
Iconic.
Yeah.
So the encounter with this specter at the cemetery gates was thrilling for him. Like, he's been searching for this for a long time.
Of course.
For years, he had hoped to have his own experience with the supernatural, and now he just fucking had one.
Hell yeah.
So after telling the rest of the British Occult Society about the interaction, he became determined to find other people with similar experiences so he could learn more. So he drafted a letter titled Ghostly Walks in Highgate that he submitted to the Hampstead and Highgate Express. On February 6, 1970, he wrote to them, and this is beautiful. Some nights I walk home past the gates of Highgate Cemetery. On 3 occasions I have seen what appeared to be a ghost-like figure inside the gates at the top of Swains Lane. The first occasion was on Christmas Eve. I saw a gray figure for a few seconds before it disappeared into the darkness. The second sighting, a week later, was also brief. Last week, the figure appeared only a few yards inside the gates. This time, it was there long enough for me to see it much more clearly, and now I can think of no other explanation than this apparition being supernatural. I have no knowledge in this field, and I would be interested to hear if any other readers have seen anything of this nature.
Good for him.
So Farrant's letter actually got a ton of responses, and 4 were actually printed by the paper the next week.
Damn.
They mostly confirmed the existence of the Highgate ghost. Now, one letter writer claimed the ghost had been appearing for years on a regular basis, quote, showing itself nightly for about a week at intervals of about a month. And then another letter writer claimed that there had long been stories, quote, about a tall man in a hat who would walk across Swains Lane and just disappears through a wall into the cemetery.
I love this.
It's so much fun. So the responses to Farrant's letter elicited even more responses the next week, and this issue included a note from the editors actually asking readers to send their own accounts of supernatural experiences, like in and around the cemetery. It's so much fun.
Let's go.
Now, in addition to the further sightings of the tall man, letters started explaining more of the folklore surrounding the area. One letter writer wrote about a mysterious figure seen moving the headstones in the cemetery late at night. And another letter told of a ghostly bicyclist known to chase women down Swains Lane.
Hate that.
Yeah, I don't love that.
I don't like that guy.
I also just like immediately hear the
immediately.
But the trend continued until the end of February, when the Hampstead and Highgate Express finally ended their coverage on the phantom at Highgate Cemetery with 6 letters. Some people described the tall man. Other people told of a woman in white who could be seen in the cemetery late at night, and they said she was crying out loud for Hugo.
Where are you, Hugo? Hugo, write in. Tell us what's going on.
Come on, man. Now, among the final letters was one from David Farrant himself, telling his own story and expressing his, quote, relief that his ghostly experience had been corroborated by others. Now, in a piece for Folklore, writer Bill Ellis noted, quote, the most impressive detail about the letters to the paper is the sheer amorphousness of the Highgate traditions. Apart from the ghostly cyclist, hardly 2 informants gave the same story. Yet all young people seem compelled to walk by or even enter the cemetery with the idea that something is supposed to happen. So basically he was saying even though all the letters shared different stories, they all kind of created this like shared mythology around Highgate Cemetery.
I love that.
And kind of established it as a place known for supernatural encounters or hauntings.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
Get me there ASAP.
Let's go.
Now, under normal circumstances, the letters published to the Hampstead and Highgate Express might have been dismissed as, you know, like folklore or naivete. Naivete. Just like the way that UFO abduction stories and ghost encounters aren't taken very seriously. But, like I said earlier, during the late 60s and early 70s, London was undergoing major cultural shifts. And older generations were paranoid about younger generations being interested in these dark things like witchcraft and satanic shit and dark arts. So these supposed hauntings in the Highgate Cemetery actually gave these older, like, fearful generations something to concentrate on. And it kind of seemed like they started projecting their anxieties that way.
Yeah, because they're like, look.
Exactly.
Right.
We were right all along. Like Reverend Phil there and
the
and cemetery keeper, William
Dakin.
I know, what a cool name, right?
You should be a cemetery care worker.
Yes.
A caretaker if your name is William Dakin.
You just have to be. I don't make
it just
the rules.
Makes sense.
Or do
I don't know why.
I like it.
Or do I?
Now, Sean Manchester, if you remember, he was one of the leaders of the British Occult Society, but he split from the original British Occult Society in early 1970 and ended up founding his own faction, and he immediately seized on these stories being published in the press. Now, unlike David Farrant, who was essentially looking for validation, Sean Manchester came forward and told reporters that he didn't think this was a simple matter of a ghostly entity. Instead, he said that he believed something far more dangerous was at work. He claimed he was, quote, concerned by the numbers of carcasses of foxes and other large animals that were showing up with lacerations around the throat, completely drained of blood.
Ooh.
He thinks there's a vampire at work.
Ooh.
So, given the success of the previous round of these paranormal letters, the Hampstead and Highgate Express leapt at the chance for more letters of this nature.
Yeah, they probably saw this was like a big draw, so they were like, let's go.
They were like,
vampires,
party.
you say? All right.
Vampires? So in late February, they published a front-page article featuring Sean Manchester under the headline, Does a Vampire Walk in Highgate?
I am obsessed with that.
Love it so much. So in the article, Manchester warned local residents that this was not any old, ordinary vampire or vampire.
Happen more.
He, quote, speculated that it was a king vampire from, I think it's Wallachia, that had been brought to England in a coffin by his supporters at the start of the 18th century.
That sounds fucking awesome. Why doesn't this happen more?
I don't know.
If someone told me a king vampire had arrived after being brought over in a coffin, I mean, come on.
Like,
we're calling out to work today, fellas.
Make
let's
my
go.
day.
Yeah.
Well, he went into detail. He said, quote, "Now that there is so much desecration of graves by Satanism, I'm convinced that this has been happening in Highgate Cemetery in an attempt by a body of Satanists to resurrect the king vampire. We would like to exorcise the vampire by the traditional and approved manner, drive a stake through his heart with one blow just after dawn between Friday and Saturday, chop off his head with a gravedigger's shovel, and burn what remains. This is what happened centuries ago, but we'd be breaking the law today."
So quick question.
Sure.
Between Friday and Saturday.
I don't know why.
So they're like, I know everybody's got to go to work during the week. And I'm sure this vampire has a sweet ass 9 to 5. So
Probs.
we should wait until the weekend when his guard is down.
Just after dawn.
When he's had a nice brewski after work. And then we can dust his ass only in these certain time periods. Like, I really like that.
I'm obsessed with it.
I think that might be what I'm like, okay. I was going to be a question, but then I worked it out in my own head. So
There ain't no rest for the wicked.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
was
why they
gonna-
continue their work on the weekends.
yeah, everybody's working for the weekend. You know?
Everybody's working for the vampire.
And they have to chop off his head.
Yeah, with a gravedigger shovel.
So it's not like Buffy, where they just dust.
No, it's a little different. It's
That's
close.
so neat.
Yeah.
It's neat because it's just like poof and you're gone.
Neato.
And it's like you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to get rid of any body. You're just like,
I know, that is true.
you just sweep him into a dustpan.
I like it. But also Buffy's version is neat too, because
That's what I mean. Buffy's version is neat.
Oh, that's
that
what
they
you're
just
saying.
dust. Like chopping his head off with a digger shovel is not neat at all.
and then you have to light a fire. Like Buffy doesn't even have to light a fire.
yeah, no, Buffy's way is far and above the better way.
By the way, go listen to The Rewatcher. It's our
Yeah.
favorite podcast.
It's true. Please do it.
Well, one of our favorite podcasts.
Yeah, of course.
But by the next day, Manchester's story had obviously gained some attention from people like us. At first, the attention
People like us.
At first, this is not just us. The attention was mostly from people who appreciated his creativity, but absolutely dismissed the reality of vampires. Couldn't be us. But after the public sat with the story for about a week or so, and Manchester continued to push this narrative of vampires and Satanists in the press, some people started to wonder whether there might be some truth to what he was saying. After all, there had been an alarming rise in youth rebellion in recent years that coincided with increased drug use and an interest in the paranormal and the occult.
The paranormal.
Paranormal, that was a soul. And then there was the vandalism and the evidence of, or the quote-unquote evidence of witchcraft in local cemeteries and also churchyards, which were followed by all the letters sent to the Hampstead and Highgate Express about these paranormal happenings in Highgate Cemetery. So while it may have sounded outlandish at first, after giving it some thought, these people in Highgate started to think maybe Sean Manchester was onto something, and maybe they ought to do something about the evil that invaded their motherfucking neighborhood.
I love this because it's a movie.
It is. This is literally a movie.
Like everybody's just like, we got to do something about this evil.
I guarantee you.
This king vampire.
Vampire. I guarantee you that they probably did make a movie about this. You should look that up because I didn't.
Look it up.
So on March 13th, Farrant and Manchester, David Farrant and Sean Manchester, both appeared together in a news segment produced by ITV about the cemetery. And standing in front of the cemetery gates, Farrant told a reporter that he had received, quote, threatening letters with black magic symbols on them, warning him to stay away from things he could not understand.
Ooh.
Now, Sean Manchester interrupted and kind of seemed to see an opportunity to undermine David Farrant. So he challenged Farrant's power and knowledge of the occult, telling the reporter, "We feel he does not possess sufficient knowledge to exercise successfully something as powerful or evil as this vampire, and may well fall victim as a result." He's like, me, on the other hand, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Me, I'm good. You, not good.
He said, I'm hot.
And you're not.
Top that. So the program followed the interview with a segment on the ghostly apparitions seen in the park and included interviews with several neighborhood children who have also claimed to see this dark figure in Highgate Cemetery. So the news segment on ITV aired at 6 p.m., and within 2 hours, there were nearly 100 people who assembled at the gates of Highgate Cemetery for what the press later described as a vampire hunt.
Wow.
This is for realsies. It happened.
I love it.
I fucking love it. Logan Roy. So while many residents were residents of this local London neighborhood, Highgate, several others had actually driven pretty far to participate in this event. One of those people was Alan Blood. I don't know if that's his real name or not.
I was just going to say, please tell me that's his real name.
I mean, he's a self-described vampire expert, so like I'd be willing to put money on the fact that he changed it, but I don't know his life. But he traveled, what I do know is that he traveled more than 40 miles to participate in the hunt for what he described as an undead Satan-like being.
You know what? Get it. I'm like, just if it makes you happy.
Yeah.
It can't be that bad.
Cheryl
said it.
My girl. I love Cheryl. And Blood told reporters, I met Mr. Farrant. That's his name.
Wait, Blood told reporters.
He told reporters, I met Mr. Farrant in a pub and we talked about his plans to stake the vampire. But this whole thing is timed wrongly. There were too many people around, which would disturb any undead spirit.
Of course.
He's like, if this were up to me to organize, I would have done it a little more,
Yeah. I would have understood the nuances here.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for, the nuances. I would have fine-tuned some of these details.
I really like that these people believe this so wholeheartedly.
I love it.
I find this endearing.
It's fantastic. At one point, like an entire school of children like descended upon this cemetery with like stakes and dogs and fucking everything.
I love it. I'm in.
Now, some people who were there, like this happened a lot. This happened a few times. So some people there seemed to take Farrant and Manchester's claims seriously, but a lot of people also just seemed to be there to witness the spectacle.
Me. I'm that person.
It's us. Now, when they couldn't get through the gates, several would-be vampire hunters climbed a 10-foot wall surrounding Highgate Cemetery and just went in search of open graves looking for this king vampire.
Wow. It's
for real, dog. Other people, though, refused to go very far into the cemetery, and they claimed that they had seen something moving beyond the gate.
Ooh.
And now, a man named Anthony Robinson, boring. Sorry, Anthony. But
sorry, Anthony.
You're following up Mr. Blood.
Yeah, exactly.
He told reporters, I walked past this place twice and heard a high-pitched noise. Then I saw something gray moving slowly across the road. I'm sure there's something evil lurking here at Highgate.
I love that the vampire's just this gray.
Yeah.
Figure. He's just like, I'm just gray.
I'm just gray.
Like, just let me go about my day.
Oh, look at it. I love it.
That'd be adorable.
That would be so cute. He's like, just leave me alone. But by 10 o'clock, the scene resembled what one onlooker described as a football crowd with tons of people carrying blunt objects that they were planning to use against any evil predator. This part of the show is brought to you by Anua, the Korean skincare brand known for scientific, gentle, yet effective formulations. The latest from Anua is the Retinol Collagen Gua Sha Cream, a firming cream with a gua sha-shaped tip built right in. Have you guys heard of gua sha? It's that viral massage tool that moves fluid and tension out of your face. Less puffiness, a snatched jawline, honey, more definition in your face. Retinol firms and reduces fine lines, and collagen keeps your skin plump and structured. This cream has both of those things, arguably the most optimal combo for that snatched, lifted look all in one step. I am obsessed with the Gua Sha cream. First of all, it feels so cool to the touch when you put that on your face. It's just like, this is lovely. It's like a little spa treatment that you can give yourself. I like to do mine at night after I get out of the shower. I rub the cream on my face with the little gua sha. I'm sculpting that jawline, honey. I got it on the cheekbones. And actually, I had a facial the other day, and the lady doing my facial, the professional, she said, do you use a gua sha at home? And I said, I do. And I said, how did you know that? And she said, I didn't have those little like bumps in my chin or like different areas like that. So she could tell that I was using the gua sha. And I said, oh my God. I just feel like I wake up less puffy in the morning when I do it the night before. But you can do it whenever you want to. I, 10 out of 10, recommend this product. The Anua Gua Sha Cream Value Set is available at anua.com, already discounted. Use code MORBID for an extra 10% off. That's ANUA.com, code MORBID.
The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
And Sean Manchester later told a reporter, it was like the end of a Frankenstein film where the monster was chased.
Yeah.
People had weapons and looked as if they could turn nasty if they had seen a tall, lean person in dark clothing.
See, that's where it turns for me. Because when you're just like, oh, this person went in there by himself and was like, I'm going to stake a vampire. I was like, that's delightful. Like,
Yeah,
you
look
do
at
what
that.
you want to do. When it becomes an angry mob of people, like at the end, like at Beauty and the Beast, like,
Yes,
if
with the tree
Gaston
stump.
is leading this whole thing, I'm not into it because it goes right back to my whole thing of like, you're gathering with a
Don't
common
gather.
interest.
Just
And
stay at home and get DoorDash.
Don't gather with a common interest because some of you are going to start getting crazy. And like this guy just said, you're going to start beating on some poor tall drink of water that
knew
walks
that's what you
by.
were gonna
Like
say.
John walks by and everybody starts beating the shit out of him. Like it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not turning good for
No.
me. It's not getting better.
But
I'm
listen,
getting a little upset.
Luckily, the police were also aware of that fact.
All right, cool.
And because the situation did have the potential, like we were just pointing out, to get pretty dangerous, they eventually were able to drive the crowds out of the
right,
cemetery
cool.
before anybody got hurt.
Do small patrols, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like
groups of
Buffy,
five.
like the Scoob Gang.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the days and weeks that followed, Highgate police had to contend with several smaller incidents of groups of teenagers or young adults breaking into the cemetery, stakes in hand, in search of the paranormal.
It's important.
But nearly all of those individuals actually hadn't even taken the claims of vampires seriously. They just like wanted to be part of this, I guess.
Yeah, everybody wants to be part of something.
But then other people were like, no, there's a motherfucking vampire in here and I'm going to be the one to get him.
Vampire.
But the press, on the other hand, they kept presenting this story as though it were 100% fact. They actually usually cited Sean Manchester, I don't know what happened there,
Yeah, no,
David
they're so-
Farrant, and even Alan Blood
Oh no!
as experts on vampirism.
Alan Blood.
Now, Sean Manchester told a reporter from Hampstead and Highgate Express, "It is too much to be the work of vandals. There are some black magic signs and symbols, limbs, and even entire bodies missing from graves. It all points to something very evil."
Yeah, I mean, again, that's not great. Bodies missing from graves and shit. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just go look for a vampire.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about the people that
But
are
what
already
he's
buried.
saying, he's like, keep looking for the vampire
Yeah.
because the vampire is the one taking, like,
Yeah.
like his followers are the ones taking these
Exactly.
bodies and trying to resurrect King,
Yeah, it's not
King
great.
V there.
No way. That's not how you do it.
No. But a few months after the vampire hunt in Highgate, the story was revived, of course, in early August when 3 young girls were walking through the cemetery and discovered the headless, charred remains of a woman's corpse lying on the ground outside of one of the crypts.
Holy shit.
A police spokesperson told the press, "We're working on the theory that this may be connected with black magic. The body could well have been used for that reason."
Damn.
So people were taking this to like another level.
way too far.
And the discovery of the remains reignited the excitement surrounding the supposedly supernatural aspects of Highgate Cemetery. And once again, the press turned to the supposed experts for a quote. Instead of being like, what group of asshole teenagers did
Yeah.
this? They're
'cause you
kind
know
of,
that's what it is.
now they're leaning in a little bit. And Sean Manchester, I keep saying Manchester.
Manchester.
Sean Manchester told the Highgate and Hampstead Express, "These same Satanists that desecrate Highgate Cemetery are disciples of the evil one," like referring to the king vampire.
Yeah.
According to him, stealing a human skull brought the cultists one step closer to reviving the king vampire and increasing his number of followers. And in all the excitement over the discovery, few noticed the comments from Highgate's groundskeeper, who told police he saw no signs of black magic and he just also chalked it up to ordinary vandalism.
And it's like, did he cite a source for that? He's like the human skull, if you bring it to the king vampire, it's like it brings you closer. And it's like, did anyone go, do you have a source for that? Or did you come up with that yourself?
And therein lies the problem.
That's the problem.
Because they're just taking this man for face value. And they're like, well, he says he's an expert
Yeah,
in
this is just fanfic. Everybody, they're just making it up as they go along.
This is fanfic.
They're like,
You're
there was
entirely correct.
It was a headless corpse. well, then, that's very coincidental because you need a human skull to get closer to that. It's like they're just making it up as they go along.
That's the thing. But of course, not wanting to be outdone by Manchester's supposed expertise,
Never.
David Farrant took to Swains Lane and vowed to patrol the local cemeteries until he found those responsible. On August 17th, his Buffy patrolling, though, came to an end when he was arrested in St. Michael's Churchyard and charged with trespassing. Now, at the time of his arrest, he was carrying a large crucifix and a wooden stake. And in their statements to the press, Highgate police claimed that Farrant had told them he had, quote, gone to Highgate to watch for a vampire raising from its grave. And he told them, according to the police, I would have entered the catacombs in my search, and upon finding the supernatural being, I would have driven my stake through its heart and then run away.
I love that for you.
Later, Farrant said that this statement was entirely fabricated and that he had not said that. He said he'd really gone to the cemetery with the British Occult Society to conduct a seance intended to establish a psychic link with the Dark Spectre.
Wow.
He said, I wasn't going to stab anyone. I was just holding a seance to talk.
Yeah, don't make me out to be something else.
Said I just want to chat.
I just wanted to talk.
But because he had been charged with trespassing, he had to appear before a judge on September 30th, and he pleaded not guilty to the charge. Now, his lawyer, Jeffrey Bays, argued that the cemetery was, quote, not an enclosed area in the strict legal sense, so technically his client hadn't broken any laws. And then Farrant told the judge, I decided to go out and destroy it. I was aware of the power of the cross and went to the cemetery with a crucifix on which I had engraved a black magic emblem. So he's really going for it.
He's taken this and run with it.
But his lawyer explained that while it may not make sense to the courtroom, technically it's not an illegal activity to go out hunting for vampires. And he told them it is akin to people spending fortunes looking for the Loch Ness Monster or some other supposed creature. And for some reason, the judge agreed, and the charges against Farrant were dropped.
Okay.
He was like, you know what? Fair point. Technically, it is not illegal.
Valid.
Now, while Farrant is going and appearing in court for all these trespassing charges, the other members of the British Occult Society were standing watch over the cemeteries in Highgate like their leader had told them to. But just moments after the charges against him had been dropped, Farrant gave a comment to reporters, telling them that he vowed to, quote, continue his investigations and carry on trying to warn people that followers of this black magic cult were performing evil ceremonies at the cemetery.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. It really is. Like, I swear.
It truly is. Somebody tagged me in something on TikTok that just made me think of this. We need like the theme song. That somebody said that Ghost is just like Scooby-Doo music. Like if you put it to certain songs to Scooby-Doo episodes of them like running away.
We should try that.
There's a couple there's one in particular and I can't remember. I think it's Zombie Queen.
I don't know if I know that one. Sing
is
it.
Very much
Sing
like
it right now.
Sing it.
Sing it
no,
right
it's like
now.
the music that really it actually worked. And
So
I was
like not the words.
And I was like, I'm not offended, and I support this message.
I love Scooby-Doo.
And it just made me think of that song playing over this whole thing, and it actually works really well.
Oh, now I need to listen to that song.
Play it for like the part for you because you're gonna be like, wow.
Yeah, please do that.
That's actually very true.
One time I just paid for a Boomerang subscription only to watch Scooby-Doo.
I remember that. That was pretty great.
It was money well spent.
Yeah, I like that.
Mikey just gave a huge thumbs up.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if I've heard Zombie Queen.
To be fair, this song is like very out of their normal stuff.
Yeah, it's a little groovy. Wow. And that's Ghost. You know so many things. I love your hyperfixation on this band. Like genuinely, yeah. I love your hyperfixation on this because you have fun new, like little fun facts every time.
I can always come up with something new.
You're wild.
But doesn't that work out really well?
That does
Zombie
work.
Queen, it really does.
Yeah.
It's Scooby-Doo chase music.
And I really want to listen to that more now because I like that. But David Farrant and Sean Manchester, there was no other way to go back to it. So Farrant's arrest at St. Michael's Churchyard kicked off a new chapter in this. Basically, at this point, him and Sean Manchester had a rivalry. And this whole thing kicked off a new chapter in that.
The fact that this is like, it's like a rivalry about
among
a vampire
cults.
king.
Yeah.
Like this is a king vampire rivalry. And a king vampire enthusiast rivalry.
among brothers.
Just let that settle for a second.
That's the thing. Like, they belonged to the same group once, and then they were like, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for this.
So in early November, just a month after Farrant appeared in court, British Occult Society member John, I believe it's Bradish, was reported to the police for assaulting Sean Manchester.
Oh, shit.
Things took a turn. According to John there, Sean Manchester threatened him and his family with black magic unless he rescinded the bail money that he had put up to bail David Farrant out of jail following his arrest for trespassing.
Damn.
So, appearing before a London court, Bradish told the magistrates that Manchester had called his wife and, quote, warned her that unless the bail was revoked, odd things will happen to you and your children.
Odd things.
That's what he said.
Not even bad things. Just
odd things.
It's gonna be it's gonna get weird in here.
But are you gonna fuck around with that?
No, it's just like it's
exactly.
It's such a gentle threat.
Sort of.
It's not like fucked up things are gonna, like bad things are gonna. It's
just
like
odd things.
Some odd things.
It's not even gentle. It's like menacing.
Yeah, gentle isn't the way to describe it. It's like it's just like kind of menacing.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, in court, Manchester was quoted as saying, I believe in black magic. Do you? I am an occult.
Excuse me.
And Dave said that he's going to yell this at people whenever he's annoyed at them. I am an occult. I love it.
Somebody just disrespects you and you're like, I'm an occult.
I am an occult.
I'm an actual occult.
So,
okay. So fuck off.
That's Dave's way to deal with people that he doesn't like, and I might steal it. But anyway, when Bradish learned of these threats, he went to Manchester's home and an argument ensued. And apparently, during the argument, Sean Manchester and a friend tried to forcibly remove John from their home, at which point Manchester was knocked to the ground and supposedly hurt his leg.
Damn.
So after hearing both sides of the argument, Magistrate William Hughes noted that Bradish technically was guilty of assault, but under the circumstances, he dismissed the charges. He was like, this is all a little much. So,
Judges out here just being like, this is a lot, guys.
Like, knock it off.
I'm just going to keep dismissing these charges until you all stop.
So Bradish didn't get in trouble, but Manchester was placed on probation and fined 200, I think it's pounds, with explicit instructions not to have any more contact with John Bradish.
They'd be probably smart.
Now, in the weeks and months that followed, both Farrant and Manchester did everything they could to stay in the spotlight and keep all these stories about black magic and occultists and vampires alive in the press, while being careful to make sure that their antics didn't violate any more laws.
Yeah, just fun silliness.
But they both maintained that devil worshippers were still at work in the cemeteries. Farrant said that the British Occult Society had been attempting to exorcise the evil spirits, and Manchester said that he was performing various rituals outside of the cemeteries to take care of this.
Of course.
Now, in late October, the BBC program 24 Hours heard about the situation and actually traveled to Highgate to cover the story.
Wow.
Now, the story relied heavily on interviews with Sean Manchester and included what they referred to as a documentary reconstruction of Manchester's attempts to exorcise the evil spirits from Highgate Cemetery.
I love that a lot.
I want to see it personally.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
I couldn't find it. But in the opening segment, the host told audiences, we have a film report of a secret and satanic ritual being practiced in Britain in October 1970. 24 Hours is building up a case history of the occult. We've heard of ghost hunters, psychic researchers, covens of witches dancing naked around bonfires in the middle of winter, and even the odd black mass. Sometimes the fascination with the black arts leads its adherents to far more sinister rituals.
Ooh.
Spooky. Now, just as he had done with countless other media appearances, Manchester used this appearance on 24 Hours to continue building out his vampire narrative. In one instance, he said that he had actually come into contact with a young woman he referred to as Louisa, and he said that she was a London girl supposedly possessed by demonic spirits. And according to Manchester, he followed Louisa to the crypts at Highgate one evening, and that was when he discovered, quote, an extra coffin with no nameplate, and opening it to find a body which appeared neither dead or alive. So he said, jumping into action, he grabbed his stake and, quote, placed the point between the 7th and 8th rib on the left. Grabbing my arm, one of my assistants pleaded with me to desist, saying that it would be sacrilege. If what lies before us is an undead, I replied, it would be an act of healing. Consternation grew among the group in the vault, and the consensus of opinion was that the stake remained unsoiled until at last proper permission had been obtained from the correct quarter.
I just love this.
So basically, he was like, I wanted to dust this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But all of my people were telling me that it's sacrilege. And the general consensus was that we should leave the stake unsoiled, aka not stab things.
You know, I think that's just like having a good team around you.
Yeah.
That you can trust to tell you when you've gone a little too far. I think they're like, don't stab this person.
But I want to know where you get the permission. Like, what's the correct quarter to ask the permission from?
I mean, these are questions that probably have answers that I'm sure they'll come up with in the moment.
Yeah, I'd have to ask Sean Manchester.
You would have to ask Sean Manchester.
Don't you
Manchester.
Don't you think that if you were this reporter, you'd be like, so did you ask anybody? If
100%. I'd be like, my next question would be, who do you ask? Do you want me to come with you? Should we go do that right now?
That's the thing. Like, Diane Sawyer, get on the case.
Nobody's doing a good job with the follow-up questions here. Ash is a really good interviewer. I feel like Ash would be really good at this.
Oh my God.
You would have the like perfect follow-up questions.
Thank you so much. That's because I'm inquisitive.
You are, and I like it.
Thank you.
Whenever we have interviews, I'm like, girl, take it over.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I get very nervous.
If I think to ask a follow-up question in an interview, I always go, I ashed.
I love that.
I didn't ask the question. I asked
the question. Wow, that's hot.
Yeah.
So when one of the members of the group stopped Manchester here from going through with the staking, he said he did the next best thing. And he filled the coffin with holy water, garlic, and salt, and left the door to the crypt open to let sunlight take care of the rest.
And then he added some chicken tenderloin, and he sauteed it.
Get the holy water out of there, and I'll eat that. But the segment on the Highgate Vampire that appeared on 24 Hours turned out to be one of the last big stories to feature Sean Manchester and David Farrant that took their claims seriously. This was partially because the public's attention had moved on to new stories. It had been a while, and they were like, yeah, we still haven't seen it, so like, I don't know.
We're like gnats. We can't focus on something for that long.
No. But more importantly, the more progress the police made towards stopping the vandalization, the less inclined Londoners were to believe in the existence of king vampires and black masses.
Sad.
And in July 1973, Highgate police did arrest a group of teenagers who invaded the cemetery. And at that point, they learned since the original claims in 1970, these local kids had actually made a habit of going, quote unquote, adventuring in local cemeteries looking for supernatural phenomenon.
Makes sense.
So this, the locals realized, was a far more plausible explanation for the disturbances than vampires and demons.
I love that it took the police being like, hey, you see this group of youths? They say that youths have been doing this for a while and going in there because cemeteries are spooky and kids are gullible. Yeah. And everybody was like, wow, I wish someone told us that before we went on a vampire hunt. And it's like, that's what it took, everybody?
It's like at the end of
like, no one thought of that?
When they take the mask off and you're like, oh, it was just that creepy old guy. We should have known that.
Kids.
It's always a creepy old white guy.
Who just admonishes them for being youths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it was the youths admonishing people for not being youths.
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Or like admonishing them for believing in something supernatural because they were like, yeah, we haven't found it.
I just love that that was clearly the case the whole time. Like I could have told you. I told you that in the beginning, actually. And then it's like we get here and all of a sudden they're like,
everybody wants a little more theater.
I mean, I do too, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm into it.
I'm into it, yeah.
I think it just got too far.
But listen, we got two characters still to hear about.
What's up with them?
So despite the decline in public interest, David Farrant and Sean Manchester kept up their act in the decades that followed. They wanted to keep this alive.
Good for them.
Manchester stayed real flashy, and he maintained his theatrical appearance that really belonged in some kind of gothic horror story. Like, you've seen it.
Hell yeah.
He's got what the kids, I believe, call drip.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah, I think drip is when your outfit's good.
So I have a question. This is going to sound...
I might not know because I just found that out.
I'm going to become a relic when I ask this. What is Riz? I've heard that word.
Do you know what's so upsetting to me?
Not once have I looked it up.
Do you know what's so upsetting to me?
You don't know.
I don't know.
That makes me happy.
And I used to be the one to tell you what these things meant, but I did hear a child say the other day that somebody had Riz.
Is that like you have stat? Oh,
Mikey's got...
here.
What is it?
if you want to riz someone, you want to flirt with or charm them.
So how do you have riz? You have charm?
It derives from the word charisma or a special magnetic charm or appeal. Oh, okay. So it's like you have riz. Like you got a little something.
You know what? Sometimes I don't like these stupid things that like youth say, but I like riz.
I hate it a lot. I think it's such a...
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70.
Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
Bad word. I think I would much rather someone tell me that I have charisma. I have
uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
You have charisma. You have spunk. There's something magnetic riz about you. But if somebody said you have riz, I'd be like, fuck you. No, I don't.
No, I don't. It kind of feels like 20s to me. Like, oh, you got a riz, kid.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like...
It feels clunky. It's not a...
No, I feel like it doesn't...
a clunky word.
See, drip to me is clunky.
I mean, that's...
Like, if you tell me... Because I think they say you're dripping. And I'm like, that's gross.
That's
upsetting. I'm not dripping.
Yeah, no, that's offensive. I don't like that.
I like people in my day said swag.
Swag.
I like swag.
I think we just said, like, you look cool.
No, you guys said other. You definitely had something. You must have.
No, we didn't have things for, like we didn't have, like, swag or riz or anything like that. We were just, like, cool.
I'm trying to think. I guess you're right.
Yeah, we really didn't. That was you know what it was? That became a thing when the internet became a thing. So when the internet was just a baby... It was not a thing.
But then I think about like people like that are my mom's age, and she used to tell me like the things that they would say, like zingers or something like that. We're like stoners.
Oh no, that was only. I won't say what it is.
It was only a group of people.
No, it was only here.
Okay, gotcha.
So
I don't even think I said the right word.
You didn't. So I'm not going to say the actual word because it's very specific to our high school.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. How did we even get here? Oh, he had riz, I guess, technically, because he's theatrical.
He had riz, and I'm looking at them right now. They do indeed have riz.
They have riz and drip.
Both of them do.
Well, so yeah. Farrant, he stuck to his nightly patrols, his rituals, and exorcisms, and in time, authorities actually kind of grew weary of the antics of both men, and that led to a very strained relationship between the police and the occult groups. Now, even though the public interest in the supernatural, specifically regarding the Highgate Vampire, had waned considerably by mid to late 1970s, Farrant and Manchester and their respective occult groups remained very active. And actually, in late 1972, Farrant and his girlfriend, Victoria Jarvis, were arrested in Highgate Cemetery on a charge of indecent behavior.
Ooh.
When the two were discovered in a private cemetery conducting a ritual to contact the spirit of a long-dead pirate, Thomas Walmsley.
I'm sorry, they were in a cemetery.
In the cemetery.
A ritual.
In Highgate Cemetery.
To bring forth a long-dead pirate.
Yeah, Thomas Walmsley.
Let them go.
Let them live.
Let them live.
Now,
that's awesome.
Farrant ended up telling the court, I really believed it possible that it could have appeared. If it had, it would be it would have been the means I used. It would have appeared within the circle. Now, ultimately, they were given a small fine and they were told to get the fuck out of the cemetery and stay out of it. Now, Farrant and Manchester again made headlines in early 1973 when the two announced their plan for an occult duel to the death.
What?
At Parliament Hill in London. In preparation, they literally plastered London's urban area with posters announcing the duel, claiming the ceremony would involve naked witches, demon raising,
Diamonds,
and the slaughter of a cat.
Oh, I hate that.
Which I really don't like.
Yeah, no.
But it does sound like an interesting version of Musk versus Zuckerberg.
Oh, yeah.
Like previously.
Yep.
Minus
Absolutely.
the cat slaughter.
Minus the cat slaughter. Why do we have to bring cat slaughter into it?
Well, that's the thing, because actually the announcement caused a shit ton of outrage among the public, mostly because they had said that they would slaughter a cat.
Because of the cat. Like, if you want to just duel, like, in your own occult way.
Yeah, just like...
We would all be like, that sounds fun.
Yeah, like
go right
naked
ahead.
witches, demon raising, go ahead.
Yeah, like, go right
slaughter
ahead.
a cat.
Don't kill an animal.
Stop. Exactly. Now... So people were mad that they said that they were going to slaughter a cat, but also because of a myriad of other claims made by both sides. Manchester told the Sunday Mirror, "My opponent intends to raise a demon to destroy me by killing a cat. I will be relying solely on divine power." So he was like, this guy's an animal cruelty guy. I got the power.
So who was it that said he wasn't gonna?
Manchester.
So Manchester said, I'm not gonna kill a cat.
Yeah, so I'm voting for him.
All right, I'm gonna have to be on his side for that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the jerseys.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. And even though he had actually put up nearly 1,000 posters announcing the duel, Manchester told the Mirror, "I advise people not to attend. They may easily be horrified."
I mean, don't tell me don't attend, because you will easily be horrified, because I am going to be putting my shoes on.
Precisely. I think he knew that. And
yeah,
that's why
of course
he did.
It. That's an amazing way to get people there.
Now, in response, Farrant told reporters blood must be spilled, but the cat will be anesthetized. But to which I say, seek help.
Yeah, I don't care if the cat is anesthetized. I don't care about any of that.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
It's unclear whether the duel ever actually happened, but if it did, it didn't result in the death of either man.
If it happened, they were both winners.
They
lived. Guess, so.
But the arrest and disruptions only continued in the years that followed. In early 1974, David Farrant and several members of the British Occult Society were arrested for lighting a fire in a derelict building in London.
Oh.
And in their report, the police said that they received a call about the fire from a neighbor, and when they searched the home, they discovered Farrant and the others engaged in, quote, a witchcraft ceremony involving two men prancing naked around a fire.
You know,
that's not illegal.
Get it.
That's not illegal at all.
You can do what you want.
Going into a building is illegal.
Yeah.
But Farrant and the others were charged with arson and appeared in a court a short time later. And Farrant told the judge he had lit the fire because it was cold.
Cause and effect.
He's not trying to burn down the building. So technically, is it arson?
He was just trying to warm up.
But Farrant was arrested again a few months later, this time for breaking into the crypts in Kensal Rise Cemetery, where several coffins were disturbed and bodies exposed.
Oh,
and that's where I
man.
mean he lost it.
Yeah, he's lost it.
And he like the whole
plot.
cat thing. Like, I'm like, you're going down a dark path.
Lost the plot.
Now, at his trial, his estranged wife, Mary Farrant, told the court that she had been shown photos of the broken crypts and bodies just after Farrant returned home from the cemetery. She told the court, "I cannot remember the sex or age of the corpse. All I can remember is that it was black inside. I was shaken and horrified."
Yeah, same.
So that's what I mean, where like it started off like
it's like fun, like silliness,
like, into the occult, but he like really took it to another
way
place.
Too far.
Now, unlike the previous arrests for petty crimes, Farrant's arrest for the desecration of human remains was far more serious than he seemed to understand. He went on trial in early June and was charged with body snatching and witness intimidation.
Damn.
After he sent several voodoo dolls to witnesses in an attempt to prevent them from testifying against him.
Holy shit.
Now, under oath, he claimed that he and his followers had nothing to do with demons or vampires, but were simply misunderstood adherents of an often maligned spiritual belief system.
All right.
But it's like, yeah,
you're doing bad stuff,
you can definitely be among that group of people that is like misunderstood. But if you're breaking into breaking into crypts and like disturbing human remains, nobody's ever going to get that.
No one's ever going to be on your side on that one.
You shouldn't get that either. Now, he was actually ultimately acquitted of a very serious charge of body snatching when the actual grave robber came forward and admitted that he and several of his friends had broken into the crypt and vandalized the graves, quote unquote, for a laugh.
Oh my God, punch that guy in the chin.
Please. Now, while Farrant may have dodged the most serious charges, he was still found guilty of vandalizing memorials in the cemetery and witness tampering, and he was sentenced to 4 years and 8 months in prison.
Damn.
A sentence that, according to Bill Ellis, quote, even the normally hostile honorary journal characterized as unnecessarily harsh.
Wow.
Hornsey Journal. Now, Farrant ended up appealing that sentence, and he was evaluated by a psychiatrist who did deem him sane, quote, but in need of guidance because there was a possibility of his beliefs taking him into a condition of a mental disorder.
I wondered that.
He was really teetering a line
on
there.
that line.
Now, despite the psychological evaluation, Farrant's appeal was actually denied, and he ended up serving 2 years of his sentence before he got out on parole. Now, once out of jail, he pretty much kind of disappeared from the public view, which is probably a good thing. Just like he chilled out a little bit. And he really only ever came up in discussions that were remembering the Highgate Vampire and the occult panic of the 70s. And he died in April 2019 at the age of 73.
Oh, wow. He's young.
Yeah, I know. Now, his arrest served as kind of a wake-up call for Sean Manchester, who further toned down his antics and rhetoric following David Farrant's trial. And in the years that followed, Manchester's public persona became increasingly oriented around vampires, and so did his branch of the British Occult Society that, he had started. He continued to appear in the news articles and TV whenever a so-called vampire expert was needed. But by the early 1990s, he had mostly abandoned his kind of occult persona, and he claimed to have been ordained as a bishop of the Old Catholic Church.
I saw pictures of him, and I was like, what's happening
But
here?
I bet you didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming.
From occultist to the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
What a path.
Yeah.
But they continued to trade barbs with each other and insults in the press until David Farrant passed away in 2019.
Wow, that was like a blood feud.
That was
feud. Until the end.
Truly, they got real pissed at each other. But what an interesting story.
That is a fascinating tale.
Multiple times, huge groups of people ran to Highgate Cemetery in search of a vampire, a king vampire.
I love that happened.
I do as well, and I'm glad that mostly nobody was hurt.
That's what I'm glad that no one was murdered. There wasn't any I'm glad that there was, but I'm really bummed for all those graves that got disturbed because it's that sucks.
I know. I feel like they need to do something, or obviously they wouldn't have done it back then, but they needed to do something more technical to get into the cemetery. You know what I mean? Like a passcode or something.
Yeah.
But
damn,
what a fucking story, right?
What a tale.
Very interesting.
What an aesthetic.
An aesthetic.
An aesthetic.
Aesthetic. So yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it
weird. But not so weird that you disturb people's graves, because what the fuck is wrong with you if you're out there doing that? No.
No.
Eat a moon pie.
There's a break-in every 26 seconds. But when intruders step near, Simply Safe Home Security steps up.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on the way.
Using AI alerts, U.S.-based live agents help deter break-ins. Simply Safe, no long-term contracts. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/SXM or with promo code SXM.
Outdoor deterrence requires a Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplysafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.
You wouldn't take financial advice from a 72 hours in a single day alpha influencer, would you? Same goes if you're in a car accident or any accident. Who you choose matters. That's why Morgan & Morgan exists. They're the largest injury law firm in America, and they've built a reputation by actually winning cases, not just talking about it. Over 1,000 lawyers across all 50 states and $30 billion recovered. Injured? Go to forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast.